everybody, what's going on? You're now listening to another episode of Streets to Success with Frank, Jalil, and we got...
B.J. Haircut for homeless.
Bro, why you keep making an introduction like that, like a sports analysis, man?
So I guess I got the voice
Space
for it.
Jam, man.
Oh, man. All right, then you could start. You could start it off. Tell them how we usually get down low.
Oh, man. So basically, we start off from what you went through in life. From where you from, what city you from, or what block you from, all the way up to where you at now.
All right, let's get started. So, I'm from Chester. I'm everything Chester. I bleed orange and black. I mean, Exit 6, all that. I lived in Chester till I was about 3. Then I moved up here to West Philly, 58th in Baltimore. My upbringing was, I was the only child. I mean, it was simple. My pop was, was booked. It's just me and moms. I mean, grandma. I mean, that type of feel. I was here until I think 10, like 4th grade. From 4th grade, I moved to Delaware. Delaware was the country compared to, Philly. The city. It's like a lot of fast motion. Out there, it was real settled. I mean, it took me a while to adapt to, their way of living. But I was in Delaware from 4th grade to college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get into too much. Like, I was spoiled. I had everything. Like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really have to do too much. I ain't have to run around in the streets like that. Unless I wanted to. And I did go through a phase where I was trying to live up to a name. Me and my dad got the same name. So and he was heavy bull, 80s, early 90s. Like you can't mention Chester without mentioning my pop. And I try to live up to that. So after high school,
I was gonna ask you about your dad. So you said he was in jail. He wasn't in your life, right? Was it in and out of jail? Did he do like a long stint? Was it?
He did like I think it was like a total of 15. So it was like 7 straight. Come home, go back for 6. Come home, go back for 2, or something like that. And then when he finally came home for good, he still was doing him. I was seeing him. I was sitting at him and my stepmom crib or whatever. But it wasn't like he was back and he was back. Like we had that relationship. Now it wasn't like that. It was just like my pop home and that was that.
Yeah.
But fast forward to, I don't know, maybe 2005, him and my mom got back together. You know what I'm saying? He stopped dealing with my stepmom, had my little sister, whatever. My mom got back together. They ended up getting married in 2007, so now he back for good. You know what I'm saying? But around that time, 2007, 2008, I was kind of just, trying to figure me out. You know what I'm saying? So I did a lot of little things where, I played around and with some stuff. I wasn't no drug kingpin or nothing like that, but I just did what I thought he would be proud of by carrying the legacy and carrying that name, and it just ain't panning out.
How old were you at this time?
So I graduated in 2006, so you talking like 18, 19, 20?
You graduated from high school?
In 2006, yeah.
Oh, so you're the same age as me, 36?
Yeah, 36, yeah. So,
88.
Yeah, exactly, 88, yeah.
And you said college. Did you end up going to college?
So my plan, I was heavy basketball boy.
I was gonna ask you that because you said you was from Chester. Yeah, Chester breed ballers,
that's
man.
What we do.
Facts.
I was heavy basketball boy. I was good in high school. I didn't play my senior year, but I felt like if I go to a little small school, I might be able to walk on somewhere. So I shot my shot at community college. But it's just, school wasn't for me. Like, I already had that entrepreneurial mindset where I just wanted to go out and get a couple of dollars. So I left basketball where it was. I left school where it was. And I just moved around, just doing whatever. Like, just trying, get a couple of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Some was good, some was bad. But I was out there.
And if you don't mind talking about it, what type of, things were you doing?
Some drug activity.
Yeah.
Some I was busting checks. I was just doing whatever, like, just to keep up with,
Yeah.
with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to find the things of everything. I mean, back then it was all about Rockaware jeans, your bow jeans. You had to have the different colored straps. You know what I'm saying? You had to every mic. So I just was. I mean, I was running around. Then.
Do you think your pop was happy that you took that route? Or
No,
was
I don't even think that he knew. Like he would hear little stuff, but he didn't see it. So like he didn't see me come in the crib with 10,000 on me. So to him, nah, he ain't doing what I'm hearing he doing. And I got a brother on my dad's side, and my brother, he was kind of doing him too. So it was just like a thing where it's like he knew, but he didn't know. Like he ain't had no evidence. So as long as he ain't had no evidence, it's like out of sight, out of mind. He ain't doing that type of thing. And I didn't start running around until 2010. I had my daughter. So I had my daughter 2010, and then I got booked 2011. And everybody laugh at this. It was the longest 3.5 weeks of my life.
Yeah,
I mean,
for real.
They held me, and that was my first time ever going to jail, seeing the jail. And I said, man, listen, I don't care if I gotta go on a run, I'm never going back. And ever since then, it's like my mindset was different. When I was locked up, I called my mom, and she put my daughter on the phone, and that broke me. Like that was the moment where I was like, yeah, this
like
not
you can't be like your pop.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like my pop or like anybody else. My friends that was, that was heavy in it, and I was trying to chase what they was doing. They was actually getting at it. I was just the one in the background, the spoiled one. Like we homies, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So
Did you ever have a job like at all, like regular 9 to 5 or anything?
I worked probably one job in my life, and that was at Target overnight, and I hated it. Like going into work and it's dark and watching the sun come up wasn't the vibe.
Like you was missing stuff.
Yeah, like it just wasn't it. Like just working period wasn't it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I never had the mindset of I'm gonna go work for somebody. It was like, man, I'm gonna go work for myself. So I did I'm like good with my hands, whereas though I know how to sew. I know how to do a lot of things. I know how to draw. I know how to paint. So I'm gonna put these little things that I know how to do to work and try to make some type of money now that I'm on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So did you start cutting yourself at first? That's what made you start getting into like cutting?
Yeah, so I start cutting myself, just playing around, just, you know what I'm saying, something to do. I would cut like anybody I come in contact with, a cousin or whoever. I didn't really have no real clippers, but I just make it do what it do. And then one day I went to a job interview as a car salesman. When I came home, this is the crazy part. So I had my daughter, boom. I get booked 3.5 weeks, a month, something like that. I come home to a son. I had no idea that I had no idea. I come home, boom. I got a son. All right, cool. Now I really gotta get some paper, but I know I'm not trying to go back. So I go on an interview at Kia. I'm like, I ain't no car salesman, but they gonna interview me. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Boom. I meet this boy. He from Chester. We talking. He asked me about my family, yada yada, whatever. Long story short, next day he called me. Yeah, we decided we're gonna go another way. I'm like, why? Gave me this whole spiel. So I go to this barbershop where my uncle owns the barbershop. He got the biggest barbershop in Chester at the time. It's like 12 barbers, 12 of the best barbers in there. And that was like a hangout, you know what I'm saying? We play the game, we do whatever, like a chill joint. So I go up there, I got an attitude, like, what's up with you? You good? I'm like, yeah, man, I try to get this job. Boy said it wasn't, they went another way, so I'm stuck. He's like, man, I've been told you should have started cutting. He was like, what was the man's name? I told him his name. He was like, yeah, he called me. That was my man. I'm like, what did he call you for? He called me and he told me that you were sitting in the chair in front of him, and I told him, don't give you the job. I'm like, why? Like, I got 2 kids out this joint. He like, because you was never supposed to be working there. Like, this where the money at. You got everything that you need. You got me, whoever. I mean, you got all these barbers you can feed off of. Man, pick these clippers up and get to work.
I know you wanted to kick his ass.
I was salty because I'm sitting there thinking like, man, this is a guaranteed job. Even if I don't sell a car, I'm gonna get a check. I mean, so at least I'm gonna be able to feed my folks. But he was like, man, you ain't, that's not what we do. Like you here every day anyway.
At the time, were you mad at him?
Was I mad? Yeah, I was hot.
That's what I said. I know you wanted to kick his ass.
So, but then fast forward.
Well, now I owe him everything because it was him, and like he said, he been telling me, yo, you get your haircut here, you here when you ain't doing nothing, you here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't take much to go ahead and just start again, just watching what everybody do. You know how to draw, so that's an art form. Barbering is an art form. You know what I'm saying? But I was in my own way. I never thought I'd be a barber. I could care less about cutting heads. I like people though. I like the whole when you shape the bull up and then he call his girl and she blushing because he might be a little ugly, but you made him look like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like that aspect of it. So I was like, you know what, man, listen. I called my mom. I was like, man, I'm broke. I just need a couple of hours. She gave me $300. Said, listen, go get whatever you need. We went to the nearest hair store. I bought a bunch of clippers, and I started cutting at his shop.
How many fuck ups it took you to get sharp, man?
Man, I done had moms, dads called on me, all that. Like I punished a lot of people. See, my whole thing was I focused on the shape up again because I know how to draw. So this is the shape up ain't nothing but shapes. The fade and all that, it took me a while. So
the swirl, everybody got different swirls and
all
stuff.
that, learning what the guards do, like all that was a crazy experience. I mean, it took. I probably went like a year just trying to understand how to be a barber. I mean,
did you ever get discouraged?
Yeah, only because the barbershop I was in, again, it was like the best of the best in that joint. Like the worst barber in there was good. You know what I'm saying? And then you looking at what everybody individually doing. You got, I'm going to say, so it's 12 barbers in there. 8 of them had a crazy clientele. I mean, so they bringing in 12 to 2,500 a week, easy. Where me, I'm happy to cut one head and make that little $20. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta make that stretch until somebody else trusts me. So it was definitely discouraging. But it still lit a fire in me where it's like, man, listen, always my tagline was I'm not finishing last. You know what I'm saying? So I had to figure a lot of things out and I had to do it quick if I wanted to make some real money.
I'm happy you stayed with it. You said you started in what, 07, 08?
Yeah, like 08.
And it's crazy, right? I was in Glen Mills around that time, and you gotta like take up a trade when you're in Glen Mills. And I took up barbering. I was fucking. I said, no, I ain't with this. I'm done. I wound up tapping out. I couldn't do it, bro. I said, I'm done. It's a wrap.
Persevere, man. I knew that this could be it. Like instead of running around looking for jobs or doing something nutty and getting, I'm like, this could be the one that could save me. And again, I didn't love like being a barber. Like it wasn't something where it's like, yo, I want. Some people grow up like, yo, I want to be a barber their whole life. That wasn't my story. My back was against the wall. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't had no choice. But
all or nothing.
That was it. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, I had my Uncle Bill who was like, listen, we gonna work it out. And he dog walking. He like, yo, the first week, just give me $20. And he did that for probably like 3 months. Then he's like, all right, we're going to up it to 50. You cut 2 heads, we're going to up it to 50. Now I'm grinding. It was a market at the end of the shopping center that the barbershop was in. I'm in that market every day. Yo, I'm doing $10 cuts. I'm doing $5 cuts. I'm in there grinding. They up, all right, we're going to go to 75. All right, that's a stretch. I mean, that's like 3 heads. So I'm like, oh, this week, all right, we're going to go back down to 50. He really dog walked me till I got to that point where I can afford the 125 a week.
How long did that take you?
A year and a half, 2 years, like till I was comfortable. I mean, again, so for me, my thing was I'm going to just try to cut all kids. It's going to take me longer to get to that booth, that 125, because kids only, 10 hours, 15 hours a cut. But if I cut all kids, I know I don't gotta do too much. One length, shape them up, they out the door.
Mm-hmm.
When I move to them adults, now you talking about
different.
designs, parts, fades,
And you don't feel guilty when you fuck a kid's head up.
Yes,
Shit,
you do.
yes, you do. You gotta deal with that
You don't
mom.
gotta do, you
or
gotta
that
deal with
dad.
the kid, but I
Yeah.
mean, mom in the car and young boy walking, jumping in the seat, he got a patch on his door. She coming in there, she coming to get you. Like, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? I messed up a lot of good relationships because of that. You know what I'm saying? It, like
fucked
right
up,
now, I guess I'm considered a celebrity barber because my resume. But it's still people right now. If I see them, they like, yeah, 20 years ago you messed my son up, and I don't care how good you is, you'll never get in his head again. I gotta eat that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was.
It's a part of the game, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't be mad at him, but every now and then I see him, I'm like, man, you don't see what I'm out here doing? Man, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
They probably say, I wouldn't even let you cut me if I was homeless.
Yeah, not even. It's real rap. Yeah, real rap. But
Man, that's crazy.
That's.
So
for
what
the
was
most part.
the next steps of, like, you're in your uncle's shop? Like, where'd you go from there?
So I bounced around a little bit. So I did.
And why did you get out of there, too?
So one of my favorite barbers in there, my man Naeem, so I had my daughter, then I kept cutting there, and it was a lot of barbers leaving and going. So now we in the iPhone era. When I was working there, when the iPhone first came out. I mean, so as time went on, I mean, as mobile devices advanced, that's how the barbershop, like, I mean, a lot of people coming and going, dudes starting to realize their potential. They opening their own shops or whatever. So my man Naeem, who I really watched heavy because I felt like his style was the style I was trying to adopt. He hit me up like, yo, I'm leaving the shop and I'm gonna have a joint with only 4 barbers. It was him and 3 other barbers. He was like, if you want to come down, it'll be a little more, out the way. It won't be as many like hungry individuals trying to grab the walk-ins or whatever. Like, it'll be a better situation. So I made the decision to go with him. At the time, so Chester is it's a lot of different projects. Like, it's a lot of different, and everybody beef with everybody type of thing. And he opened his shop in the area where he was from, which from a business move, I don't know if it was smart at the time to follow him because a lot of the people that was coming to the shop was from his area. So of course they only want him to cut them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of them situations where I had to grind all over again, grind to get some outsiders. But again, the area you ain't gonna get too many outsiders because that's their territory. So I struggled there, but my hand was good enough to cut. Certain individuals, but it just was one of them things where like the territory wasn't the best. Like the situation where his shop was at just wasn't it. So I was with him for maybe, I don't know, 2 years or something like that, 3 years. And then I chilled. I was cutting out of my crib. And then another barber from there ended up moving and opening his own joint. And that was in a way better area.
So real quick about cutting out of your house. How did that work? Was there like you're advertising on social media or you're hitting up your old clients?
All that. So
And how does that interfere with your home life? Because you're bringing people into your house.
Yeah,
and
that's different.
Getting distracted with
Right.
kids.
So I mean, as far as grabbing the clients, my name is starting to buzz a little bit. So one, a lot of people know me as Bowtie Biz because, well, they called me Biz, but at one point I was heavy into fashion, and this was that. So I always grew up in church. I was church boy. But I was the type that I'm in church during the day. At night I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? But my style was different. I wore bow ties. I would make them by hand. So I adopted this name of Bowtie Biz. That's what people knew me as. But they also called me Biz the Barber. So it was like they went hand in hand. So my name is starting to buzz a little bit. Like, yo, Biz from back in the day, whatever, that played ball, that did this, that did that. Like, he cutting now, and he all right. So when I would tell people, like, yo, you come to the crib, now I could charge a little less because ain't no overhead. So, I'm charging $15, $20, and they sharp. You know what I'm saying? So as far as getting people to come to the crib, it wasn't about nothing. But it wasn't a good joint because some people ain't know what I was still into or what I wasn't. So I didn't know who was gonna come to the crib, say they coming for a cut, but they coming on something else. So it was just was like a up and down thing. But I was so worried about chasing this money that I ain't even care. You know what I'm saying? Luckily nothing happened, but at some point I had to, move out the crib, and luckily that's when my man opened his shop, and that was probably where I really blossomed. Like, that's where I really became like Biz the barber. The bow ties was done and all that.
Why do you think right there did it? You think it was a time in your career, or a mixture of location, or right environment?
It was in Chester still?
Yeah, it was in Chester, but it was in an area where Chester, we call it Overtown, but it's like our South Street.
Okay.
So it's like stores, it's everything, the bank, whatever, the post office. So I could move around a little bit more over there. And when I tell somebody, yo, come to the barbershop, whatever, they feel a little safer because it's not in the middle of no neighborhood. And yeah, it's like a perfect joint. And then again, so when this particular dude opened his shop, he took the best barber with him out of my uncle's shop. So now it's him. It's the best barber in there. It's me, and it's another young, hungry barber. But he probably was on his way of becoming like that bull. So again, I'm still in the middle of a bunch of dogs, but I can really tap in and feed off everybody. And then it's not one of those situations where we competing. Everybody really was getting money. You know what I'm saying? And that's where like it got real. That's from on the barbering tip, it got real.
So you said you was an adult when you moved to West, right? Or was you still younger?
The first time?
Yeah.
The first time I was a kid. I was like 3 or 4 or something like that when I moved to West.
Oh,
and
so you wound up
from there.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Because I was gonna ask you, how was the transition? Just coming from like
I was
Chester to you was a baby then?
I was young. I was born in Chester, but I moved to West when I was I think I was like 3. And then I moved to Delaware when I was 10. I was in Delaware till I was pretty much grown. Then I moved back to West. Me and my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, but we moved back to West in I think 2012, 2013.
Okay.
But I knew the area, so the transition was pretty easy because I already kind of was familiar with everything. I had family up here and all that, so it was kind of easy.
Oh, it was cool for you. All right. Because I know sometimes when you're moving from even different parts of Philly, it get different. Like you move from South Philly to North, it's like, oh, you from South Philly.
Right.
You feel me? Especially, how Philly is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But from Delaware to Philly was different, but it was easy for me. It was definitely different for my wife, our 2 sons. It was different. I mean, schooling was different. Everything was different. Here is just it's fast paced, it's wide open. Delaware, your corner store is Rite Aid.
Yeah.
Here, you got a corner store literally across the street. So it's just like that type of stuff it was different. But because she was coming from Delaware, and again it was like more country, when she moved here, it was like, wow, like we ain't gotta have a car, we can hop on the L, we can go downtown, we can do this, we can do that. You can't do that in Delaware. If you don't have a car and you gotta go somewhere, it might be all over for you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
There wasn't
like
no Uber and all that. Like that wasn't popping yet. So moving back to Philly was like, I mean, obviously it was a life changing job because haircut for homeless and then everything else.
So was it ever a time, my fault, Frankie, was it ever a time when you moved to Philly that you still were cutting in Chester and you had to commute back and forth?
Nah.
No?
So when we finally made the decision to move to Philly, that's when I was like, well, this is the time where I could just be done with cutting.
Okay.
Because even though I blossomed at that last barbershop, I still ain't have no heart in it. It just was something to do. It was paying the bills at the time. It was a little inconsistent. It just wasn't fulfilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I moved to Philly and I just was here. I had a couple of dollars saved up, so we was just here, just trying to figure it out.
What was your deciding factor to stop cutting in that shop specifically and then moving on?
I had a falling out with the owner. I don't really remember what it was about or how it happened, but I didn't. It just wasn't like the vibe was getting a little weird, and I don't know if it was just one of them things where like maybe they saw like my potential was starting to expand, and I was getting a little better. I don't really know what it was. When I see him now, we don't even talk about it. It's just love. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really know what happened or how it happened, but I just know it was like one of them things where it was like, you know what, I'm ready to move, start over. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put the Clippers down and find something else to do.
Why'd you pick Philly?
Cause I was already familiar with it, and then my wife had a friend who was about to move back to Delaware, and she was like, "Listen, y'all could take over my crib, whatever, whatever." I introduced you to the landlord, and it was just a perfect like ready-made situation. I mean, so we was like, "All right, let's do it." So we came up here, and
What was your plan for employment?
I ain't
If you
really
wanted to
have
give
one.
up, you wanted to give up Barber, and you said
I ain't really have one. We just had a couple of dollars saved. We
go
knew
back to
it'd
Target?
help us. No, I ain't going to Target. No. But I knew I wanted to do something in fashion. I wanted to get back into the fashion thing. So I didn't know if it was going to be the bow ties. I didn't know if it was going to be something a little more deeper than that. I didn't really know. And
what did you eventually do?
I ended up getting hired at a spot that sold suits. It was like a suit store. But they hired me because I used to make these little accessories. They call them lapel pins. You ever see the joint of suit jackets?
Yeah.
I used to make them by hand. And one day I went in there, I was trying to get them to buy them in bulk. But they like, listen, why don't we can hire you, we'll buy these joints, we'll sell them, give you a percentage. And then I wanted to get into styling heavy. So they like, you can do your little styling thing. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is what I really want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying, all my life after basketball, I was like, I want to get into the whole fashion thing. So I was working there, and it was there that I ended up starting Haircut for Homeless.
So how did that all transpire? Like,
Yeah,
what
like,
really? Go ahead.
This
Right.
we're about to get into this whole thing was crazy.
Was it
So-
one person it started with, or did you have a thought? How did it go?
So I'm working at the suit spot, and
Hold on, I'm cutting it live off. They got to tune in for this one.
So, I'm working at the suit spot. I'm probably a few months in. Is love. I mean, and I'm going to work every day with that issue on. Like, so people looking. I mean, you know how that goes. So now, as days go on, everybody waving, they saying hi because they want to know who this guy, whatever. So on my commute to work, again, I'm coming from like Delaware, where it's not. I was in Claymont, Delaware. So Claymont is, I guess that would be considered like your Lower Marion.
Okay.
So you don't see no homeless people. Like you don't. I mean, it's not like like the inner city. That's where they house their homeless at. So when I'm going, back and forth to work on my day to day, I would see like a bunch of homeless people on every corner. Like they just was everywhere. So I just kept thinking, like, dang, like how is this possible in a city like Philly, like one of the biggest cities in the world, like, and there's just millions and millions of homeless people. So one day I go home all excited, like, yo, I tell my wife, like, I want to do something for the homeless. Like, let's start making some sandwiches, yada yada yada. And she like, nah, everybody do that. So I'm like, well, what can we do? She's like, man, you got them clippers that's collecting dust. Why don't you go out and cut a head or two? And I'm like, no. One, I didn't really know how to approach the homeless. I mean, I didn't know like if it was like certain rules or regulations. I didn't know none of that. So I'm like, that's not a good idea. She like, trust me, like you should do it. So I'm like, nah, this ain't it. So the next day I'm going to work. Now I'm looking at everybody's head. Every homeless person I see, I'm looking at their head, and I'm like, holy smokes, these boys really do need haircuts.
Yeah.
So I go home, I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we go out one day, and this is the crazy part. It just so happened to be Martin Luther King Day. So I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I guess this will be my day of service. So we go out, we go to like 2 or 3 people, they all said no. At the time, in my head, I'm thinking, like, they ain't even gonna give me a shot. Like, they don't know who, like, I'm Biz the Barber, but I didn't know that a lot of them keep their hair because it keeps them warm. I wasn't even thinking that. I'm just like, why you keep telling me no? So we get to 15th and Walnut. I see a boy sitting on the corner. His name was Braden Hope. no lie. I go up to him, give him $2, $3. I'm like, can I ask you a few questions? He like, yeah. He a young boy, so I was like 28, 29 or something like that. We was the exact same age. So I'm like, all right, we got a little connection. So I'm asking questions, how you become homeless, whatever. He giving it up. So I'm like, yo, if somebody could cut your hair, would you agree to get a haircut? It's like, yeah, I can't afford it. I'm like, well, look, I got some clippers in the car. I was using the joint. It was like a car battery hooked up to this other thing, and the joint had an outlet. So it was like basically like a makeshift barber shop that I just created. I found it on YouTube. He like, nah, yeah, I get a haircut. So boom, hooked up my little situation. She go on Facebook Live, but I'm not even paying her no mind. I'm just so happy that he finally said, yeah, I'm cutting his hair. You got the Verizon store across the street. You got Cheesecake Factory on this corner, and then you got whatever hotel, whatever that is. I'm looking around. It's people in the windows. They recording. Everybody in the Verizon store, they come out. They trying to see what's going on. Now it's just 1,000 people just looking at everything that I'm doing. I'm like, yo, this is wild. But I'm not really the attention type bull, so I start getting a little nervous. Some other dude come down. He like, yo, this is such and such newspaper across the street. Can I, ask you some questions while you doing it? So he interviewing me, we talking, whatever. Long story short, I cut about 4 people. I'm like, bet, that was a good job. All right, back to work tomorrow. I go home, 2, 3 in the morning, my phone going crazy. I don't know how these people got my Facebook. Instagram was fairly new, so I don't know how they got my Instagram. I don't know how none of this stuff happened. My phone rang. It's my cousin who I never really talked to like that. He live in Atlanta. He like, cuz, I don't know what your wife posted, but you need to go. It just went viral. Now, this is 2017. So the word viral wasn't what it is now. Like, it's like, whatever that means, like viral is like, that wouldn't one airing out the other, honestly. I go back to sleep. Again, it's like 3, 4 in the morning. I finally get up, 8 o'clock. My phone is going berserk. So I'm like, what is going on? We go to the live that she posted. 2.4 million views.
Holy
We
shit.
like, oh my God. So,
That's viral.
but we ain't know
that's
what
viral.
we ain't know. We like, all right, so now what do we do with this? Now I'm reading all of the messages. I got 600 inbox messages. I got 4,000 DMs. Like, people was calling me through Facebook just trying to give me the answer to the phone. So I'm like, all right, this is a bit much. But I had to still go to work. So I go to work. Now I'm talking people clapping, they waving. Oh my God, that's the bull. Da-da-da. The store that I was working at was owned by, like, I don't know, the like Arabian dudes or whatever. So to them it was like, yeah, whatever. Like, so I tell them, like, listen, man, I did this joint. I said I cut a couple homeless people. I might need some days off because I might have to keep this going. They like, nah, that's dumb. You doing well here. Like, why would you want to go and cut people for free? Like, we went through this whole situation. So on my days off, I would go out and cut. So now you're talking like I'm out there maybe 2 or 3 days out the week, something like that. And as I'm cutting, I'm just getting everybody's story. They giving it up. Finally, I go home. I tell my wife, I'm like, listen, I'm going to have to quit my job. Like, I'm going to have to quit this job because it's getting crazy. So now you got all of the news outlets hit me up. Yo, I want to interview you. I want to do this, but the next time you're going to be out. So I do every news channel in Philly. Then Rachel Ray hit me up. This the crazy part. My cousin was working at this job like that built cars for like NASCAR or something way out in Plymouth Meeting. He had got me an interview, like $30 an hour. I'm sitting in the interview. I tell the lady, I'm like, listen, last week I cut a few heads and they was homeless and they kind of went viral, went crazy, whatever. And she like kind of looking at me like another sob story. Cause I'm kind of basically telling her like I don't know when I'm gonna be able to start this job. I want the job. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to start. So she keeps saying like, so what is it? I'm like, it's Haircutz for the homeless. I really ain't give it a name. I just was calling it basically what it was. This guy walks in. He sat at the end of the table just like this. He's sitting down. He eating. She says it again. So what exactly is this? I'm like, I went out. cut a few homeless people hair. Somebody recorded it. It went crazy. He was eating like a bagel or something. He looked up. He said, "Tell me about this again." I tell him again. He like, "I saw that." He said, "That was you?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So what you here for?" I was like, "I'm here for an interview, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to start." Before I even got start out, my phone rung. Answer the phone. "This is Sandra, somebody from the Rachel Ray show. We saw your video. We love what you're doing. We want to have you come on." I put my phone on speaker. I'm talking to the lady as they watching me. So I'm like, "I told you I wasn't lying. This Rachel Ray." So she like, "Oh snap, Rachel." So I'm like, "All right, well, let me know when to be there." They rolled out the red carpet. "We're gonna send you a card. We're gonna do this. This is New York." Boom. Hang up the phone. The guy said, "Okay, well, this is what we'll do. You tell us when you want to start. You tell us what days you want to work, and we'll work it around your schedule." I'm like, "All right, bet." But how he got that type of pull? He just walked out the gym, out the room. So I said to the lady, now she looking at me like, "Okay,
Now
yeah."
she impressed.
So I said to the
Made her
lady,
believer.
I'm like, so who was that?" She said, "He the owner of the company." I said, "Yeah?" She like, "Yeah, he runs the whole company. He's boy like a billionaire." So she like, "All right, well, this is what we'll do. I'll take your information. You call me when you want to come." I did the Rachel Ray show, and I never heard from them people again. I never looked back after that. The Rachel Ray show catapulted me from Fox News to like, that's when it got real.
Like, what feeling was going through your body, bro, when you was going through that?
I didn't know I didn't know. I just ain't know. Like, there's really no words, like, because again, I still got this other job with the suit joint. So when I do the Rachel Ray show, I come back, I go and tell them. Well, I went to work and I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, "I don't want to be here." She like, "Well, I mean, you did the Rachel Ray show, but ain't no money come with that." So I'm like, "I know, but we gotta." I was like, "Man, listen, all right, I'm gonna stay." We hung up. Man, like an hour later, I ain't even tell them boys I was done. I just walked out. They probably still waiting for me to come back. 7 years later, they probably still looking for me. I just walked out. I went home, changed my clothes, and I start cutting everybody I could find. And just interviewing them, talking to them. From there and now, it's like that was the moment.
So when you
That's
you
tough.
walked out of there, and you're like, "I'm just gonna start cutting every day."
Yep.
Right in the streets.
Right in the streets.
Now, did your equipment upgrade in the sense of like you don't got a car battery no more, right? Like or
Right, as of right now?
like
Oh, at that,
Like when you
no,
first
at that
started
time,
and
it still was,
stuff.
it still was a car battery. So that was like 2017 when everything started again. So Martin Luther King, that's like what, January, February, something like that. So boom, I wanted to be the right timeline. So I did Rachel Ray say maybe February 2017. I do that. I quit the job. That's all in the same month. From March to June, I'm just nonstop cutting. Car battery, the whole situation. Then I get in contact with, this company got in contact with me, Maestro Classic. It's a beard butter company. Like they out of Bristol, very well known, got contracts with WWE, with all these different people. They're like, "Listen, we want to sponsor whatever you're doing. Like, we want to jump on board."
is that where you first started making money at, or
So I wasn't really making money like consistently. Like, they cut me a check every 2 weeks or something like that, like a job. It was more so like they just randomly drop a bag. Like, here goes 600 for this. Here go this for that. I didn't really start making money until I learned how to, I guess, monetize the clippers I was using. So after I start getting that buzz and I got my first like 10,000 followers, my wife again, like, "Yo, and this, they might have some money sitting if you're using their clippers. Like, we might better go at them and, let them know what's." So we start emailing every clipper company that I had any type of footage of me using their stuff, and that's when the money started coming.
okay?
I mean,
and how did that work? Like, who'd you go with? How much was it?
So I think the first check was Andis. That's my favorite clipper. You might want to edit that, but that's my favorite clipper. We're a favorite clipper company. So we just reached out. Like we just found an email, sent them some pictures. Like this what we do. This how many followers we got. And again, this was early on. So like I said, I was at maybe 10,000 followers or something like that. But to them, that was huge. That's 10,000 people that's seeing me use their clippers. So we just went right at their neck. Listen, we want brand new clippers. We want $2,000. And in exchange for, I had an app, my own mobile app at the time. So it was like in exchange for, advertisement on the app, yada, yada, yada. And we want to do this for 3-4 months. And they didn't ask no questions. They just was like, all right, bet. We like, damn, if it's that easy, we going to go
Start
at
going
war.
to everybody.
Yeah, everybody. So that's when the money really started to come in. But then it also was problems. So again, so now we in the middle of 2017. I'm in the courtyard of City Hall. So this is when I wasn't right on Broad and Walnut. I was kind of bouncing around. So I would go to Chestnut Street, Walnut Street, and then I would find myself in the courtyard of City Hall.
Yeah.
I'm in the courtyard of City Hall. This boy walked by me. He looking like, damn, like what's that? But he keep on walking. 2-3 hours later, he come back. He finally stopped. He like, we just gonna call him S. He like, yo, my name S. He like, what you got going on? You a barber? I'm like, yeah. Haircut for the home. He like, yo, I seen you. You got motion. You going crazy all over the ground, whatever. He like, so this might have been, this was like June, July. 'Cause I knew that the winter was coming, but it wasn't winter yet. So it was like I still got some time to be out here. But he like, what you gonna do when it get cold? I'm like, man, I don't know. I ain't really think that far. He like, all right, well, I got a barber shop. And I got some chairs, whereas though, it's a couple barbers in there, but I know I got 2 or 3 chairs empty if you want to come get down with us. I was like, nah. I had too much motion at the time. Like I was really in the heat of everything. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm cool. He was like, why? I was like, I could do my own thing. He's like, well, I got another spot that's 4 doors down. I was saving it for my girl, but she don't want it. He's like, if anything, just come and check it out. Like, all right, bet. It was off of Broad and Albany. I go up there. This joint was phenomenal. Like this, and that's the name of it was Phenomenal Perfection. He had it decked out. I'm like, yo, this joint crazy. So he like, yeah, man, just we'll come up with a number, but just so you can get your feet wet. Like we good for the first 6 months. Just come in, try to build clientele, because it definitely was like a barbershop across the street. It was his joint 3 doors down. So it would have been hard to try to, compete with the shops that's already been there. But I'm like, all right, well, if I ain't, we just going to play around, then we cool. Let's rock out. Go up there. I had a deal with Puma, and I had a deal with somebody else. So I start doing this joint called Makeover Mondays. So what I would do is, so now we going into like September, October, starting to get the weather breaking a little bit. So I would have people bus the homeless to the shop. And I would get local chefs or whoever, anybody that got any type of motion, cooking, this, that, and the third. I just put a whole little situation together every Monday. And it was crazy. Puma would drop off hundreds of sneakers. Like it was a crazy, crazy situation. And so 3-4 months go by, he get, I guess, caught up with like a little case or something like that. And long story short, because this is a very long story, but long story short, when I seen him that first day, he was going to court. Cool. He never let me know none of this. You know what I'm saying? As time go on, he getting banged with all these different situations. So now he looking at me like, I know we said 6 months or 8 months, whatever, but I might need you to pay the water bill. All right, I pay a little bean or whatever it was. No problem. All right, now I might need you to do this. So I'm like, I ain't really making no bread like that. So I can help out where I can, because I still got donations coming in. I got this, that, and the third. I got these little deals, the clipper deals or whatever. But you did say, 6 months. So I'm thinking, so boom, all this is happening. Now we at odds, because I'm still stuck on 6 months. He need help, obviously. One day I'm in the shop. Some old head literally just walked in. I'm thinking he coming to get his haircut, and he looked at me and was like, What's going on here?" I'm like, "This is my shop." He said, "Your shop?" He said, "This is my building." I said, "Huh?" He like, "Yeah, this, I own this." I'm like, I'm asking questions. "What's your name?" Da, da, da. I thought S owned this. He like, "Nah." He said, "I moved wherever, Maryland, and I left him in charge to manage the one barbershop that he first tried to get me in,
Yeah.
and the one that I was actually in. So he didn't own neither one of them." So I'm like, "Huh?" So now I'm stuck. But Bull nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get in contact with him, and he come. He like, "Nah, this is." He gave me a bunch of BS. I go away. I think I went. I don't know where we went at, but I go away. I come back. The locks has changed. Everything has changed. My stuff is in there. I I didn't really have no mail coming, so when I called the cops, I couldn't even gain access to the building because they like. So I went toe to toe with him for a minute. Finally, I was able to get my stuff, and that's when I went back to the street, and that's when the whole thing happened with the cops and Brian Walnut and all that.
Dang.
But that was a pivotal moment in the whole situation because one, it was a little discouraging because I looked at old head like we was kind of vibing a little bit. So when he presented me with this opportunity right at the moment where I really ain't have no direction because I ain't know what I was gonna do in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So being there kind of saved me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy because it was like just for the winter. Like when we finally had our little falling out and got to a point where it was like, all right, it was done. It was like April, so it was like this might have happened right at the right moment that he brought me in and that you kicking me out.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it wasn't trying to like negotiate nothing with you or nothing.
The one who owned it,
Yeah, the real owner.
I just was washing my hands with the whole thing because even still, they had a relationship. No matter what S told me, that was still his old head or whatever they had going on. So negotiate. He did say to me I could buy it, something like that. But why would I want to be there knowing Bull still down the street? And I'm saying it just was. It went left and it went all the way left like on something else. I'm saying like
Yeah.
my folks got involved. They like it was about to go down. So it was one of them things where it was like a blessing in disguise for real, that it even happened the way that it did.
So you went back downtown.
So yeah, so
It was April, you said, right? When you got kicked out? Starting to get nice again?
right. So I went back to City Hall, and then one day it was like some type of event going on in the courtyard, whereas though I couldn't set up. So I just started walking around like looking for any random corner, and that's how I stumbled upon Broad and Walnut. So at first I wasn't in the middle of the street. I was like I was on the corner cutting everybody, but it was the Bellevue, the corner of the Bellevue. And they used to diddy, so they used to call the cops, or they used to complain. So one day, and they own that property, so it was nothing I could do or say. So one day the manager came out, was like, I don't want to keep calling or getting you in trouble. He was like, but you can't be here. So I was like, well, where can I go? I'm like, if I go in the middle of the street, y'all gonna have a problem with that? It was like, nah, I ain't got nothing to do in the middle of the street. Boom. I went in the middle of the street.
That's where we shot the podcast at,
And
too.
exactly. Yeah, I seen it on your page. So I
Mm.
went in the middle of the street, and at first it was like, this is a little rough, John, because you got traffic coming all over the place. But
Adapt to it.
I prayed. It was like, man, if this what you want me to do, God, then keep me safe. And I ain't had no issues, no accidents, nothing like that. So.
So
And that's
did you start to go viral again? Like now you're at this location and I'm still like you get spikes of
Right. So I never stopped going viral because the first time, again, the 2.45 million views or whatever, that was crazy. Then going into the shop because I had so much motion with the Puma and this, and I would feature a different barber or stylist every week. So I would call like the biggest names and be like, yo, I need you Monday. So now you're getting their followers and people involved. So like the motion was so crazy, like it never stopped. Even once I left the shop, I mean, I was between like a bidding war with Steve Harvey's show and Ellen, like which show I would do. You know what I'm saying? So that sent social media into an uproar. Like, so like it was so much motion from 2017 to the pandemic. It was crazy. Like it was just unlimited everything. Like,
Who did you wind up choosing?
I chose the Steve Harvey show, which I wish I didn't, but I only went that way because he was homeless. So I'm like, all right, he can. I mean, but before the episode was able to air, they canceled the show.
Dang.
So when they narrowed it down, it was like he did 5 tapings or something like that, or whatever. However it happened, and they chose the first 2, and I mean, they didn't get a chance to.
And you couldn't get that video back.
No.
Well, they canceled Ellen too, though. Eventually, right?
They canceled Ellen like 2 years after the Steve Harvey Jones. So if I would have went to Ellen, I would have, But
were you on any other TV shows or?
Rachel Ray, TMZ.
TMZ, yeah, you didn't talk about that. You told us
get
before
into
this.
that. Yeah.
So what happened to TMZ?
I don't even know. Oh, you know what it was? They was having a police convention at the Bellevue, and they had their cars parked where I usually set up at. So I didn't want to take the day off and just not cut. So I walked around the 8th and Market, which was that was the area I would frequent every now and then. It was a good joint. So I'm out there cutting. I got like 15 people lined up. Next thing you know, the cops pull up. Yo, you got to shut it down. We go back and forth. I want to know why, whatever. He like, yeah, just shut it down. Basically that was what it was. So I'm like, no, I ain't. Unless you can tell me why, I'm out here. So he start calling his boss. I'm like, well, you call your folks, I'm gonna call mine. He asked me, who you gonna call? But he said in a smart way, like, you ain't nobody. So I'm gonna call the mayor. I put my phone. I was ready. He on the phone with his boss, like, man, he said he gonna call the mayor. I said, absolutely. But so while me and him going through or having our little exchange, it's a bull running for city council who just so happened to been walking by, and he started recording. And you can hear him in the video. Yeah, the cops out here messing with this good brother. He out here doing yada, 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 yada. Before I even got a chance to call the mayor, he called me. So he called me like, what's going on? And this is Jim Kinney at the time. What's going on? Yada, yada, you good? They ain't do nothing to you. I'm like, nah, I'm good, but, whatever. So I don't know if he called, but he told me from the rip, he said, I'm going to let him know, hands off. They can stop bothering you. I love what you doing. And he will always, anytime I'm on like Broad and Walnut, he got something going on in that area, he pull right up. Get out, we take pictures, we talk. He want to know like how he can solve homelessness, all that. Like he come to me for that. So that night he was supposed to do a press conference for something else, but he took a little 5 minutes just to address my situation. He like let it be known like publicly, that's my guy. Leave him alone. I ain't had no problem since then. But TMZ, that the dude that was recording, I guess he posted his video, and that's how TMZ got a hold of it, because that joint went viral too. Like that video right now, and this was again like 2018, 19. That joint still rolling, like because it's done hit so many different outlets that it's still like. And people be sending it to me, and I'm like, yo, this was years ago, but they think it's like yesterday. Yeah. They ain't know that the stomach is different. I'm like, yo, that was like 5 years ago. But yeah, that joint's still rolling.
So what other, people or celebrities or officials did you run into since you've been cutting hair?
It's a long list. Like shows and stuff like that. But I did a movie. I can't go into too many details, but starring Nick Nolte from 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. That's coming out real soon. I did BET, Essence Magazine.
What was the BET and Essence magazines about?
So the BET, they just highlighted what I was doing, like, and posted on their, I don't know what show it was on, but it was like on their website. They did a whole page of, mean, which is dope for me because it's billions and billions of people in the world, and somehow they stumbled upon my situation. So that was cool. Essence Magazine, they did something called like Black Man Can or something like that, where they had like 25,000 black men doing something in the community, but they narrowed it down to 5, and luckily I made the 5th spot, so that was pretty dope.
I don't think that was luck either. You're
Nah,
saying luckily. Nah, you deserve that.
It just was
You earned
crazy because again, I always just when it comes to these people that be posting me like Mars Chestnut and Tia Mari and all these different people, I just be like, how did they even find me out of all the people on social media? You know what I'm saying, how did they stumble upon me? So it's always just dope to know that I'm on these people's radar.
I heard you mentioning some people's moms and all.
Oh yeah, Kevin Durant mom, she's super duper supportive. Like she hit me up on Instagram like every other day. Like, yo, what's going on?
Man.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Love.
I'm waiting for her to go ahead and slide my number to KD, but
She seemed like a dope person too.
yeah,
She's always supporting him.
She's so
like
mad love. Like she's like a everybody's mom type of person. Like like you could see her out somewhere and be like, "What's up, mom?" And she gonna show you love.
Yeah.
Like don't want to curse around the type of person.
Yeah, like, or you just don't know her from a can of paint and be like, man, I'm gonna call KD mom, and she gonna, she gonna answer the phone and like on that type time, like, she special. I said the list go on, like Bobby Valentino, show love. Of course, all of the Philly who's of Philly. Gilly pull up on me every chance he get. Like he don't, if he downtown, he pulling up. He throwing some type of bread at me or whatever, just whatever. Of course, Wallow show love. Milano, or what's her real name? Milano. She's super supportive. I'm saying she show a lot of love, like heavy. Everybody. I haven't really had no run-ins with Meek. But I know that, it's probably in the works at some point. You know what I'm saying? He do a lot of like give backs, back to school, stuff like that. But yeah, everybody. What's the other one? Kindred Family Soul. They like an R&B group.
Okay.
But they heavy. Charlie Mack, super duper supportive. Yeah, Philly show love. Like I think it's to the point where they forget that I'm not even from here. I'm saying it's like
Well, you are from here.
Well, no, because somebody from Chester here that they gonna be like, yeah, nah.
Me from Chester.
But this I guess this has become like my second home.
Yeah.
And of course, in Chester we got our celebrities as well. Jalil Beats, he's straight from Chester. He support everything that I got going on. Rondé Hollis Jefferson, he used to play for the Brooklyn Nets. He overseas now.
What about Jameer?
Touchy. So Jameer, he from Chester, like born and raised, but he kind of don't really do much for the city. Now Tyreek Evans, I don't know if you remember Tyreek, played for Sacramento. Like that's my guy. Now we grew up together though, so we got history before all of this.
Okay.
But yeah, Jameer don't really, he kind of stay to himself. He from Haverford. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But it's love. Like if I see him, I'm sure but it's not one of them things where I could call on him and say, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, pull up or support or whatever. It ain't one of them.
Yeah. I know you burnt out with the Will Smith situation. Can we hear that though?
All right. Well, Will Smith, he created this show called Will from Home, and this happened during the pandemic. So what he would do is he would highlight people in different cities just doing good work or whatever. So one day this Westbrook Productions hit me up and they like asked me all these questions and they want to know the story, how I got started, whatever. I never put together Westbrook was West Philly Overbrook. I never did. So finally they like, yeah, so we work for Will Smith and Will from Home, yada, yada, yada. And we just trying to get candidates, that could be eligible for whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. But I'm thinking, ain't no way in hell Will Smith gonna choose me for, whatever he got going on. So I kind of just was like, all right, well, this is what I do. and that's that. Man, they hit me up, and he was on the phone, like he like FaceTime me. I'm like, oh shit. So my wife like, no, what they did was they put a package on my doorstep. Well, they was asking me all these questions, like, you know, how long y'all been married? Did y'all have a big wedding, small wedding, all this sort of stuff. So one day they put a package on my doorstep and they called me like, it's a package outside. Go get it. Sit it down and then put your phone, whatever, set it up. We want to do an interview with you.
Why you open the package up?
I never opened the package. No, they said don't open it. Just grab it, whatever, for somebody else. I live in West Philly, so you know how that go. Like just don't do nothing with it. Just sit it there. I mean, they was like, grab your wife, sit down, set the phone up, whatever. We about to do an interview. So I'm like, all right, bet. So we waiting, and they like the interview at 6:00. Man, 6:15 hit. We like, bro, this joint, they drawn. Next thing you know, we hear Brandon and Tasha. We look up, we like, holy shit. It's Will Smith. She like, is it really him? I'm like, yo, nah, it's really him. So he busts out laughing. So, yeah, he start, basically interviewing us, asked us, everything else, everybody else.
Will Smith himself started interviewing
Bro,
you.
himself. He's sitting in his living room, and we sitting in our living room. So we just really just vibing, just having a conversation. So then, what happened? Oh, so then he do this little joint where he's like, I know y'all had like a small wedding. I'm gonna remarry y'all. So he go put on his tux, like, yeah. So he go put on his little tux, and he like, all right, dearly beloved, yada yada. So he gave us like a quick wedding, and then he was like, this wedding wouldn't be nothing without a best man. So we like, man, what's about to happen? Ludacris pop on the screen. Yo, I'm your best man.
Damn, that's tough.
We like, yo, this is crazy. So boom. Ludacris, so he like, yeah, so we gotta give y'all some type of wedding gifts. This is Will Smith talking now. We gotta give y'all some wedding gifts. He's like, y'all got kids or whatever. Now again, this is what 2000. This is pandemic, so it's like 2020, I think, 2021, something like that. He's like, all right, your first wedding gift, you got kids. PlayStation 5. The joint ain't even come out yet. He's like, we gonna send you a PlayStation 5. That's what was in the box. So he like, open the box, brand new PlayStation 5. So I'm thinking, all right, that's it. I mean, because Rachel Ray she ain't give me no real crazy gift, so I ain't know how that stuff works. So I'm like, all right, PlayStation 5, that's good enough for me. I'm like, off this joint. You know what I'm saying? So he like, nah, that's not it. He's like, so we got 5 kids. I mean, we're a blended family. We got 5 kids. So he like, we want to do something for you and the family. We want to send you on a vacation where we go at? Like Florida or something like that. Fully paid, like 7 days, crazy Airbnb. This joint was crazy. So we like, oh my God, like this gotta be it. He like, nah, that's not it. Me and Jada, we gonna drop your bag $25,000. No taxes, like straight to your account. We like, all right, now I'm sweating.
Hey, what's the catch here?
So boom. So we do that, the whole John, great John. We go on a vacation. It was amazing. Come back. He hit me up again. Yo, so his show, the Will from Home show, is aired on Snapchat. It's not like on a regular TV station. So he hit me up. He like, I did like 4 seasons of this John, like 5 episodes a season. It's like, nobody got the type of feedback like your John, like your episode. He's like, Snapchat hit me up. They want to give you 100,000. I said, what? Now, I never seen that type of money in my life, bro. I said, 100,000? He's like, yeah, like 100,000. So I'm thinking he's bullshit. So 2 days go by. Man, I check my account, 100 grand. Like, oh my God.
That's slow.
So that's the will. That's why when he slapped Chris, I'm like, I don't care if we right or wrong. I got 125,000 reasons why I'm riding with Will.
Lucky I didn't follow up.
He could have shot him. I still would have been. Listen, I'm rocking with Will, man. I didn't care. Listen, that was life changing. So that
See
was
if
another
you do me a
viral
favor, see if he wants to get on the pod.
for sure. For sure.
No, that's heavy,
Every now
bro.
and then he'll hit me up like on the ground or something like that. Make sure
right.
everything cool. I'm hoping he decide to be generous again.
Yeah.
You super blessed, bro.
Yeah, for
No
sure,
cap,
man.
bro. Real
For
rap.
sure.
You super blessed, bro.
So now, all right, we in 2020.
Yeah.
Pandemic was a heavy job.
Mm-hmm.
So during the pandemic, L&I kept bothering me as far as like, whether if it was safe or unsafe to cut.
Yeah.
So they tried to shut me down completely. Like they didn't care what the mayor was talking about. So what I would do is I knew the L&I building closed at 5.
Oh yeah.
So I would go out at night.
Yeah.
I would have to show y'all the pictures, but I got pictures where at night I would go downtown. We'd be in the alley. I was cutting people. And so
Yo, come down here, I'm gonna cut you real quick.
yeah, real right. Like
Look, Peter, look at. I'm gonna cut. I'm
like-
gonna shape up.
man, it was dark. I find the brightest street light, and see my whole thing about the cutting thing is bigger than a haircut. Like I give God all the credit. I mean, but it really be boys out there like ready to end it all. You know what I'm saying, and then they get in the chair and we talking because I created a real barbershop feel. Like I don't treat it like it's like you just getting a cut.
And then leaving.
No, when you sit down, I let them know, like, this is the barbershop. You tell me what kind of cut you want. I wash their hair. I do the whole joint. We sit and we talk. And I talk a lot of people off the ledge, man. One boy was ready to shoot up right in front of me. Like, literally had the needle, and I just hollered, yo. And then he looked up, like, it kind of must have startled him a little bit. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. And it's crazy because he was waiting to get his hair cut. I was cutting his man, and he was waiting off on the side, and he was ready to bang himself. I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. I talked to him. We talked for a little bit. Every week he would come back and see me. Then one week he ain't pop up. Then 2 weeks go by. Like 4 months went by. I look up, it's him. He had just came back from rehab. Got clean.
That's a blessing.
But
Did he need a cut?
Definitely needed a cut, but yeah, it got real out there.
Is
man.
the effect that you have on them, is it the same or bigger?
What you mean?
Like when you feel like, do you feel like, man, I'm really like helping these dudes or like changing their life and giving them that barbershop feel? Like, is it a big effect on you too?
Oh, yeah.
You doing the work? Yeah.
For sure. See, they think that I'm their blessing, but they don't know, like, they my blessing. You know what I'm saying? They keep me going. It's been 7 years, but I could have been quit this joint. I could have been just been like, all right, 3 years, my name got known, I'm going to go cut the Sixers or something. I'm saying, like, but no, I can't see myself doing nothing else. And then again, when I get their stories and what a lot of them these dudes been through, because everybody think when you homeless is drug related, it's alcohol. No, some boys really just get dealt a bad hand. I mean, one young boy I just cut not too long ago, he was like 18. Mom kicked him out because she started dealing with some boy and they couldn't get along. So she chose the boy over her son. And he like, man, I never been out here before. I don't know what to do. And streets grabbed him quick. Now he out there, he talking to himself, all that. Like I couldn't get through to him before, they got to him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely, it take a toll on me. I mean, it take a toll on my family. I get my kids involved. They see how real it is. Like it's, like I said, it's bigger than a haircut. Like I'm trying to save as many lives as possible because somebody got to do it.
It's definitely fulfilling for you, I could tell, because I remember when you said you were cutting before, you lost like fulfillment in it when you were in a regular shop.
Exactly.
And then now it's more purposeful.
Exactly. I hate it. I won't say I hate it because it had some good moments. It had some moments I wasn't too fond of. But I've been the happiest not charging people.
Yeah.
I mean, doing this. Like, I could have made hundreds and hundreds of dollars, especially now with these prices.
Yeah.
I could be running it up, but there's nothing more fulfilling than being out there and they actually are more appreciative than the people that pay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. No, I feel you, bro. We had people on here that charge $1.50 for a haircut.
Yeah.
You You feel me, bro? So I definitely understand what you're saying, but it feel like you doing God's work now, bro.
That's what it is.
Like you was meant for this.
Absolutely.
Like, that's tough, man.
Like some people, I gotta say initiative because everybody won't understand it from a religious standpoint. But for me, it's ministry. Like that's what it is. It's ministry. I'm saying it's the talking. I used the haircut just as a way to get them in the chair, but from there now I'm just speaking life. You know what I mean? So I speak as much life into these bulls because a lot of them feel like, you know, people don't care, or you know what I'm saying nobody really gave them the time of day. Like it's a lot that go through their heads. So then you got me, where it's like, man, I want to cut your hair. All right, bet I get a haircut. But once I got him, I got him. Now I could just, talk my talk to them, and a lot of them. I won't say all of them get up feeling like, oh, all right, I can go conquer the world, but 80% of them do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The ratio of dudes that I've talked to that end up going to rehab, a lot of them, they come out, they getting jobs, they doing this, they doing that, you know what I'm saying? And they just really needed somebody to talk to them and to listen.
Yeah. That's how it was with Frankie, though, man. We was upstate. Dudes was beating him up, punching on him. I'm like, man, he just needs somebody to talk to, man. This been my brother.
Come on, Frankie. You ain't going like that.
You don't believe that?
Yeah, man.
No, that's tough, man. I'm inspired by your journey, bro.
I appreciate it.
I just made a post probably like 2 days ago, and like how some days you just get up and you don't feel like doing nothing, and you be burnt out with everything. You don't even know what you be burnt out over sometimes, right, bro? And then you hear stories like this, bro, and it's like, yo, it could be done.
Yeah.
You feel me, bro? I can't stop now. How many heads did you cut? And even though you don't plan on charging, you're not charging nobody, but how many heads that you cut that you went without getting paid, bro? You feel me? It's like, it's crazy. So that's how, it's just so crazy, bro.
In 2022, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't, and I wish I'd have stayed on track. I had in my head I wanted to go down the timeline, but it's a lot of stuff I ain't mentioned. But in 2022, 23, I surpassed 50,000 haircuts.
Dang.
And that, so also in 2017, so I mentioned the Maestro Classic company, the beard butter company, they jumped on board. So I go to them and I'm like, listen, if the homeless population here is crazy, I know it's crazy in other places around the world. So I came up with this idea of doing a tour. So I called it the Cuss and Compassion Tour. I posted on social media like, yo, I'm looking for barbers, hairstylists, nails, whatever you do, I need you. I hosted a meeting at my crib. Like 60 people came out. Narrowed it down to, the ones that was committed. Ended up being about 10 of us. And I called us the Compassion Crew. You know what I'm saying? I go to Maestro. Listen, I want to do a tour. They like, we'll fund the whole joint. We went to like 6 different cities. New Orleans and Atlanta had the biggest homeless population. So in New Orleans, we cut like 600 people. It's only like 4 of us.
Dang.
In Atlanta, it was like 7 of us.
How
we
long?
Cut like 4.
Like, how long did it
3
take
days,
you?
something like that. So
400 in 2-3 days? That's like a bean a person.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it got real. So Atlanta, it was homeless families. So when we went down on we got there like a Friday and we just drove around and we found out where the most homeless people be at, which was like their downtown area. So we walked through this park and we literally would see mom, dad, 3 kids, mom, 4 kids. Like, it was families. I've never seen nothing like it. So we kept saying to ourselves, like, how we gonna pull this off? We got up the next morning, 8 o'clock, and we didn't start cutting until like 7 o'clock that night. We just banging them out.
Dang. How often do you plan on doing those tours?
I do the tour every summer.
Every summer? Okay.
I didn't do it this summer because I wanted to revamp it. I wanted to revamp the Compassion Crew and the tour. But I mean, since 2017, I did it every summer.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I think you should do the tour when it's cold here and go to the hotter places so you can hold the city down in the summer.
So
you feel me?
I wanted to do that, but it cost so much to go to Cali, to go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then again, I got kids.
Yeah,
school,
facts.
That. But that was my whole plan, to do as many cities on the East Coast and then do a West Coast tour. I did go out to Cali by myself, and I went to Skid Row. That's the largest homeless encampment in the world. Skid Row. It's like the whole Broad Street, and there's nothing but homeless people.
Yeah.
When I walked out that joint, I walked around for 10, 20 minutes. I was like, there's no way I could put my clippers out. It just was too many people. Like, I would be there for months. I'm trying to cut everybody. So that's my plan this year is to do a West Coast tour, and then I want to go international. You know what I'm saying? It's homeless people in Germany. It's homeless people in Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So international tour, and then God willing, I'm open a homeless shelter. That's like that's my 5-year plan, open a shelter.
So what have you been doing in the city when it gets cold out now?
Events. So Haircut for Homeless, I look at it like an umbrella. And then under that umbrella is all of the different events that I do. So I do I do a 4th of July, a Labor Day, and a Memorial Day cookout. So my whole thing is when you're dealing with the homeless, especially those who've been homeless for years, at some point in time in their lives, they was able to enjoy these things. And then circumstances, they can't enjoy them no more. So I bring that vibe back. Like, so I do a whole cookout, and the spread be crazy. Like, it's like your grandma cookout. You know what I'm saying? Ribs, chicken, all that. You know what I'm saying? And then I do something called Operation Warm Winter. So whenever there's inclement weather, snowstorm, I hit social media, I raise funds, and I take people off the streets and put them in hotel rooms when it's cold out. I mean, what else? The Rebranding Humanity Project. So throughout the journey of meeting different people, is some dudes that really want to get off the street. You know what I'm saying? So I try to highlight those guys. So I created this Rebranding Humanity Project where I would take 3 or 4 dudes that's doing well, they might be in the shelter, they might got a job, whatever. Full makeover, head to toe, suited and booted, and we take them to a 5-star restaurant. And we just dine out, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like a bunch of little things to do something dope project. So I sold this T-shirt. It was my logo, Spread Love or whatever. People just start buying it all around the world. So I said one day we're going to pinpoint this day as the Spread Love Day. And I want people to go out and do one thing for somebody else and record it.
That's your logo right there?
This the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, this the new one. Yeah, it was a different one. I didn't want to have like the Barber logo for the simple fact that everybody, you know what I'm saying, the Spread Love joint is literally a heart that says Spread Love. So anybody can adapt to that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to do something dope campaign was crazy. I just try to come up with different innovative ways, one, to stay busy, and then to get other people involved. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for the cookouts, I just post it and be like, yo, meet me at this location at this time, and we pull up, and it be 70 people out there, John, that we never met before. They just seen it on social media, like, yo, I want to get down. All right, say less. I mean, they come out, and we serve. I always have like 10 barbers, and we lined up right where I be at in the middle of the street. I had that whole joint lined up with different barbers. And that joint, the cookouts is crazy because they like it's DJ the whole 9, like, and they come out, they dance, they feel human again. You know what I'm saying? Even though they got to go back to, their current circumstances, but for that hour, 2 hours.
They're feeling
The
different.
world,
That's
you know
love,
what I'm saying?
They're living again.
Exactly. And you
They're
can
alive.
see it. You can see it. Like, they always, months later, they like, yo, when the next cookout? Or when the next this? When the next that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm leaving a lasting impression on everybody. That's the goal.
That's tough, bro.
So we're up on some time, but is there anything else? I mean, before we get to your social media, how people can find you, is there anything else you want to tell the people out there, or anything like last messages, anything we
Some
didn't?
advice, bro. Even though they heard your story, some advice.
Oh, man. Well, first things first, never judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? You never know what somebody's gone through, what they've been through. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, personally, when it came to, to dealing with the homeless, I didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, I didn't know what to do, what to expect, you know what I'm saying? And I, like most people, kind of turned my nose. I mean, and it wasn't until I really dug deep and did some soul searching myself, I was able to approach somebody that was down to find out how I could help them get up. You know what I'm saying? But advice, don't listen to the other people. I mean, you're gonna have people that tell you not to do something, or that might not be the smartest thing, or I mean, think about it first. Man, listen, I'm a living witness, man. If I would have listened to them people at that job, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I would still be there selling suits, mad at the world. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta step out on faith. I don't know who it was, but I heard somebody say, how do you know that if you can fly if you don't jump? And I don't mean go jump off a building, but that do mean that sometimes you can step out and try your luck on something. You never know. That one thing might be life-changing. So I'm literally a living witness of that, man. But, yeah, and persevere. Like, don't stop. Keep going. Find your lane and run in it. That's it.
Nah, man, you got a
That's
great
heavy.
story, man. And
Appreciate it.
I think the best part about your story is you get to hear other people's stories. So, like, I can
Right.
imagine how many, you said 50,000 heads that you cut. So
50,000 stories. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
50,000 stories from 50,000 different mindsets. Like, it's, like I said, it's hard for people. It's hard for me to kind of explain what I go through when I'm dealing with these people. So I always tell everybody, man, just come out with me for an hour. You're gonna leave. It's like it's gonna be so impactful because you just don't know. Like I done met so many people, boys that done. I met one boy hit the lottery for millions. Everybody took till he had nothing left. It's another boy right now. He's right on Brown Walnut Street right now. It's 8:20. He out there right now. He used to be a boxer. I'm talking about. He was Mike Tyson before Mike Tyson. Drugs. I can go on and on and on. It's another boy. He went to Strawberry Mansion. He was about to get drafted by the Phillies. Like he was like that bull. He said before he could even go.
What's his name? That's what area I'm from. Strawberry Mansion section.
I'm gonna look it up because
Alright.
he's literally right on my page. Like somebody actually told me, they like, yo, I went to high school with boy. He was the Phillies boy, like home run king. He was like that boy. I think he's like about 60, something like that. And I said something to him. He like, yeah, like nobody know, but yeah, like he really, like it's crazy, man. It's unbelievable at times, and that's just here in Philly. When we go to all these other places, man. We meet so many different people, bro. It's real. It's real. But the support is crazy. Keep supporting the initiative. It's a donation based initiative. You know what I'm saying? For the first 6 years, I ain't get a dime from nobody. It was just straight out of pocket, donations from social media, no grants, none of that. I mean, like, so just keep supporting. Like, if you go on my social media, you see it. Like every dollar that's given to us, it go to the people. You know what I'm saying?
What's the name of your social media?
Haircutz for Homeless, HAICUTZ, number 4 homeless on all social media platforms.
And we're going to tag you on the platforms too when we post this stuff. And if you're out there and you got to donate, like if you see this man in the street, why wouldn't you not donate to this cause? You don't.
Facts.
It don't even matter what he does with the money. What's he doing for free? Like you could take care of your family with that money, or you can give it back to the community, whatever. But like you're cutting for free. You cut 50,000 heads for free, right? So I did the math. At $20 a haircut, that's $1 million worth of haircuts.
That's crazy.
Right.
At $20 a cut,
For,
and I don't know many barbers that's even charging 20 still. I know that.
facts. I've
So-
told you,
60
people
and
charging bean 50s and stuff.
60 and up, and they don't even have to.
So this
That's
man
another
gave away $1
story.
million worth of haircuts. So if you see him in Broad Street, if you see him anywhere, you know, if he's out there cutting, show some love. Follow him on social media. Haircutz for homeless. That's Haircutz with a Z, the number 4. And we appreciate you coming on, man.
I
This is
appreciate
Thank you,
definitely
bro. I
having me.
appreciate
Streets
you,
is
bro.
a success story.
Right.